One day, as I was returning home from Madija in a jeep, I saw Carvalho and Mandana walking through the green plains that were sparkling in the sunlight. Many of our big men were upset that a scientist with a salary of 1,200 rupees was openly walking with a village boy. Mandana. At first, they used to say that Carvalho was a genius, but he had read too much and was a bit crazy. Once, at a meeting of planters, I heard a big man, a local politician, telling someone to be careful about Carvalho. He used to tell someone that he was a communist and that the police were monitoring his movements. I remained silent as if I had not heard anything. Even people who had no knowledge of him had expressed their admiration and praise for Carvalho for no reason. Now the same people had descended to ridicule. Meanwhile, Mandana had boasted in the muddy gear that the ministers had been bitten by bees because he had played the drum, and somehow it had been transformed and the police had come to know vaguely that Mandana was the reason for the confusion of that day. They had called Mandana and shouted, for some reason, Kitapati. But since Mandana had also been bitten by bees, they could not prove that it was him and sent him away saying, "Are you ready to go somewhere?" Quote. I honked the horn from the back and stopped the jeep. "Hello my dear young man, I was going to your place, where are you going?" he asked. "Come on, sir, I am going to my place," I said and got into the jeep. You have made me want to sell the garden, sir. Someone had come to see me. I sent him to Muddy Gear. Why, what news? Because the hills and the farming are all getting boring, sir. This is it, I too am fascinated by the hills. Yes, sir, you are from Bombay too. I understand, it's just a little slow. We need to learn to look with our eyes open, he said. I also wondered if this was true. As soon as I touched the stick, the wormwood lit up with a buzz, and I was also a little curious. I was wondering how many other unseen surprises there were that I didn't know about. When did you find Mandana, sir? I said. Marahabantha Ramaya called you to my village. I have been with you for the past 15 days, sir, said Mandana. As Mandana had told Carvalho, what I saw in the forest was not a liquor pot, but a method of raising bees here. Carvalho was surprised and said, I have never seen it before, where can I go and see? And he came with Mandana. Seeing all of us who got out of the jeep, Pierre was very happy. He happily joined in, saying that he had a good entertainment program today and asked, can I water my wife's coffee? His ears twitched with great activity. When Carvalho pinched it and went to touch it, Mandana shouted from behind, oh, don't touch it, sir. It is a dog with a strong will, if anyone touches its head, it will not be able to do anything to it. Carvalho was careful and praised it from a distance. After finishing the coffee, we set off towards the forest from Lagubaga. Pierre and Kiwi took the lead as directors. We had entered the forest once before, so this time it did not seem so impenetrable. We cleared a path with our swords and went to the tree where the pot was placed. The bees were coming and going from the pot. When Carvalho saw the bees, he said, oh, you bees. Splendid. That's why they bite so cruelly. But they do the job very hard. You see. I stood a little distance from the pot. Pierre Mandana Carvalho went closer to the pot. Mandana slowly lifted the pot. The bees inside were making a hissing sound as it shook. It was a very large pot. Mandana nodded at its weight and said, there must be a pot of honey, sir. Meanwhile, the sound of a wire being struck began, and the angry bees began to sting us all one by one. Pierre could not bear the pain and started to dance. Mandana shouted angrily, if you are angry, hold on to the pain and stay here. If you stay here, you will get rich, if you dance, you will get even more stings. I tried my best to contain the fire and moved away. However, tears welled up in my eyes. I looked at Carvalho. Although it was burning strongly, he was trying to pretend that nothing had happened. Mandana lifted the pot and blew enough. The bees slowly moved up, hissing like cobras. The honeycombs, which were colored in the color of honey, sparkled at the bottom of the pot. In the meantime, Mandana was explaining something to Carvalho. Carvalho was curiously asking and nodding his head. Then Mandana picked it up and put it in its place and said, no need to put this in the box now, sir. You have made ghee. Let's take the ghee and leave only one comb. The honey won't go anywhere. We will make another comb. Let's put it in the box when the bees are ready. Carvalho completely agreed with his opinion. Please bring a knife and a plate, Mandana told Pia. Pia ran towards the house with his ears open. This was the first time Carvalho had seen the method of raising honey in a pot. Mandana said that honey has been raised in the mountains like this for a long time. I gave you a tin of honey that day, sir, it's called pot honey. This is how honey is raised and extracted from a beehive, he explained to me. Mandana took the knife and cut off all the others, leaving one cut. We left the pot under the tree. By the time we reached home, my and Pia's lips were swollen and drooping from the weight. Their eyes had narrowed like the eyes of Mongolians. But Carvalho and Mandana did not swell. Carvalho explained that they had been bitten by honey so many times that their blood had developed immunity. At home, my wife said that I looked like someone new. Carvalho was very happy. I was also slowly becoming curious about it. When we returned and took him to the research center in the jeep, he said, we knew that beekeeping was a scientific practice that started recently. But looking at this pot keeping, it seems that it has been used since ancient times. We should see if this pot keeping can be developed in a new way. I didn't say anything because my face was swollen.